I want to
Right.
hear your Spotify Wrapped, and I want to compare it to mine and see if I can maybe find a good suggestion for the new year.
Okay. So my Spotify Wrapped. I'm trying to think here. My top 5 artists
Yeah.
were Zach Bryan was number one.
Okay.
Good Neighbors was number two. I think Wildorado was number three.
Okay.
Local. I'm almost 100% certain they're from Tulsa. Uh, and then I've got who else? Mount Joy was number five. And Dylan Gossett, I think, was number four. So like
Okay.
alternative country. So
Okay.
yeah, it was like yeah, alternative country type. Yeah.
Okay.
It's funny though, because I shared it with my kids, and so my kids shared theirs with me, and we were looking at things like my son shared his listening age. He's like 47 is his listening age,
Yeah. Yeah.
and mine was 26. And so
Whoa.
it's kind of funny there, you know.
Yeah, that's mine's 56. That's what and like my wife, hers is like exclusively rap, like hardcore rap, like 50 Cent and like it's just
Okay,
it's a whole and it's not my genre, but like I married her, so we listen to it every now and then, right? If like when the
right.
kids aren't around. But my Spotify list is so my top listen was Mark Knopfler. And I don't know
Never
if you heard
heard
of
of
them.
him.
Dire
No idea.
Straits, yeah, he's an incredible guitarist. Back in I think he like mid 80s is when he started. But I listen to him all the
Okay,
time. Maylene and the Sons of Disaster is my second, and they're kind of it's a metal band, but like country. Like if I'm like working out, I'll listen to them.
okay,
And then
all
I have
right.
you're gonna hate me for this one, but Coldplay is my third.
Coldplay,
I
that's
know.
fine.
It's embarrassing. All their old stuff though, like none of their new stuff. It's like all from high school. And then
Okay,
I have Pink Floyd and then John Foreman. So John Foreman's like a solo musician. He plays in a band called Switchfoot from California. But so
okay.
that's
Now I know
those are my
Switchfoot.
top five. Yeah, yeah, Switchfoot. So
Okay.
he's the lead singer, but he does his own thing every now and then, and he's got some great solo stuff.
I think he has like a podcast out that my wife listens to.
Okay, he might. He's just
I think he has like a super popular podcast out.
okay. He very well could. I mean, the guy, his dad was a pastor at the church that we used to go to here in Carlsbad.
Okay.
And not a mega church, but like so. I mean, he's just part of the community. They run the Bro-Am every year. They give away millions of dollars to kids in
Right.
need, and it's just a cool like
What's his name again?
John Foreman, Jon.
John Foreman.
Yeah, John Foreman.
Okay.
Yeah, Jon. The
All
three
right.
Johns. Anyways,
All right.
yeah, good stuff. All right, so let's talk oil and gas, I guess, which is why we're really here, right? At the end of the day. But so I have a little bit of a debate here. I have some questions from our academy. So these are more the 101.
Okay.
And I think we'll start with those. So
Okay.
they had to go through a bunch of material and kind of learn the basics of oil and gas. And so one question they had was the definition of capping. Like, what does it mean to cap a well? And I'm pretty sure it's an easy answer, but I could be wrong.
Capping a well, like at least on the drilling side, like whenever we move off of location, like we finish drilling, and everything, we put essentially a cap on it. You can, this is it's really depends on where you're at in the drilling process. Like if we've still got to drill intermediate, if they just set surface or whatever, a lot of times where you don't have any kind of pressure or gas or anything like that,
Mhm.
they'll just put like you can kind of tack weld, like just essentially like a piece of metal on top of it.
Okay.
But a lot of other times it's much more, depending on what your regulations are and all that stuff, you're essentially just closing in the well. You're putting a lid on it essentially. There's tons of different ways you can do it.
So this is not a plug and abandon, a P&A. This is a different
No.
process. Okay. Okay. So
Yes.
you're still using the well, still
Yeah,
producing.
yeah. Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. And
Okay.
and a lot of times too, I mean, if you're like during the drilling process, we have something like we'll put a cap on it, is what we'll talk about. And then we're essentially talking about like a mud cap, so like a weighted pill on the backside, and
Yeah.
it adds hydrostatic pressure so that when we're tripping out, you don't get any influx of gas or whatever. It kind of keeps your pressure up, even though your pumps are off. So there'll be times, we could use terminology like that. But I think more than likely you're probably referring to, actually putting an actual what you'd consider a lid on top of the well. Yeah.